Hi, SA2. This is your math lesson on decimals and place value. Okay, remember when we talked about place value and said the decimal point represents and. Okay, so to the right of the decimal represents parts of a number. To the left of the decimal represents a whole number. Okay, remember when we read decimals, we say the decimal point as and. Okay. It says behind the decimal point, each place value ends with THS. Okay, so the tenths, right, is one place after the decimal point. The hundredths is two places after the decimal point, and the thousandths is three places after the decimal point. It ends in THS. That tells you that it is part of a number. It is not a whole number. The numbers to the left of the decimal point are whole numbers. Okay, so these are the largest numbers, and these are the smallest numbers. So if you go from left to right, you're going from largest to smallest. Okay. Okay. A mixed decimal is a whole number and a decimal. So remember, whole numbers are to the left of the decimal. Okay. And the parts of our number are to the right. Okay. So this would be considered part of a number. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, when reading a decimal or a number with a decimal, the decimal point is read as and. Remember, we talked about that. So this would be 6,903 and 417 thousandths. Okay, remember that decimal point in the middle says and. Okay, we would read this number as 6,903 and 417 thousandths, right? Just like I said. In a decimal, the further a number is to the right, the smaller its value, okay, which is something we also talked about yesterday. The 7 is in the thousandths place, so therefore it is the smallest value. Okay, the 6 is in the thousands place, so that would be the greatest value. The decimal 0.25 is represented as 25 out of 100 squares. That's why 0.25 would be 25 hundredths. Okay, because it's 25 out of 100. Okay. The decimal 0.83 is represented as 83 out of 100 squares colored in. So it would be 83 hundredths, because the 3 is in the hundredths and the 8 is in the tenths. So if you look at your drawing over here, remember what we talked about. We have 10 in each row, okay? We have 8 rows colored in and 3 individual squares. So that's how we're getting 83. Okay, the decimal 0.07 is represented by 7 out of 100 squares. Okay, we haven't gotten to 10 yet, so it's 7 hundredths. Okay, so it's only 7 out of 100. And remember that 0 is a placeholder in the tenths place because we do not have any tenths. We still have a number that's less than 10. We have 7. Okay, that's very important to remember. Okay, so for tonight, what you are going to do is you're going to match the decimal with the correct name. So you're going to match the standard form with the word form. Okay, so if we look at the first one, okay, it says 8.22, which is 8 and 23 hundredths. Okay, so if we look down, okay, we'll see A. It says 8 and 22 hundredths. That's how we read that decimal. Okay, if we look at number 2, it says 4.67. okay, which is the same as saying 4 and 67 hundredths. Okay, remember what I told you about decimals. If it's a hundredths number, it is 2 places after the decimal point. Okay, if it is a tenth number, okay, it is only 2 places after the decimal point. Okay, that's important to remember. Okay, let's look back at this again. Okay, remember the tenth place is only 1 place after the decimal point. The hundredths place is 2 places after the decimal point, and the thousandths place has 3 places after the decimal point. Okay, so that's really important to remember. Okay, remember when we're reading decimals. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, this is the word form. 0.83 would be 83 hundredths. Okay, and this is the standard form. The number is the standard form. So 0.83 would be the standard form, and the word form would be 83 hundredths. Okay. Let's do another example. 0.25. 0.25 would be the standard form, and the word form would be 25 hundredths. Okay. Okay, the standard form would be 0.707, or the word form would be 7 hundredths. Okay, so we have to make sure that we understand the difference between the standard form and the word form when we're reading decimals. Okay, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be looking at the standard form, and you're going to be looking at the word form. Okay, and you're going to have to draw a line. Okay, to the word form and the standard form. Okay, remember the decimals after the decimal point have a THS, so they're going to be thousandths, hundredths, tenths. Okay, remember when we read that decimal point, we say and the numbers to the left are the whole numbers. Okay, so if I limited your view like this, it would be 3 and 417 thousandths. Okay, remember, you're always going to say and in that middle part where that decimal point is. Okay, 1 place after the decimal point is the tenths. The next place under the decimal point is the hundredths. And the last place after the decimal point is the thousandths place. Remember, the thousandths place has the least value, okay? And the whole numbers to the left of the decimal point have the most value. They are the whole numbers. That's why they do not end in THS, because they are whole numbers. Okay, if you see 1, tens, hundreds, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to watch a Math Antics video, okay, on YouTube. Okay, you can watch that again. And then you're going to complete the activity where you match the number or the standard form with the correct name in word form. Okay, you're going to draw a line, and then you're going to write the letter on the line. Okay, if you want to narrow the choices, okay, so that it's not so many words to read at one time, that would make it a little easier too. Okay, remember, this is just a review of what we've been talking about with decimals and decimals with place value. Okay, and how each decimal in the place has a value. Okay, essay 2. All right, so tomorrow, okay, this is what your work is going to be for Tuesday, March 31st. Okay, when we're talking about place value and decimals. Okay, you can also go on Math Playground to find some decimal place value games that you can play to practice. Okay, thank you. Bye.